family. What is going on? What is going on? Welcome to AP and Toya podcast. It's been a while. And
It's been a minute.
yeah, it's been a minute. And so we are so grateful to be before you guys again.
Yes.
If you guys have been following our Instagram and our social media, we've been through a lot of things this last month or so. Actually, last couple of months, right, bro? It's been
I don't know. Last month? Couple of months?
last month. But, it started a couple of months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's been a long 6 months or so.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a long journey, and for those that don't know, my wife lost her dad, my father-in-law, after a couple of heart attacks. I'm sorry, strokes, and it's been a while. He never recovered from the stuff that happened to him.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of like one after the other, one stroke after the other. He was hospitalized for over 6 months.
Yeah. So it was tough during that time to kind of not stay positive, but it was tough to almost stay motivated when you're kind of going through the loss of a parent, not really knowing how you feel even about the whole process of it, because none of us haven't gone through this type of situation before, so it was brand new to us. So
and I think it's nothing you can really like prepare yourself for.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I've lost grandparents before, but not, like losing a parent is just it's just a whole like pain on a whole different level.
Yeah, for sure.
And just the fact that he was sick for a while, he was in the hospital for months, kind of seeing him just kind of deteriorate in his health, and kind of being the only healthcare person like in the family too, to have to kind of not only process that emotionally, but also process it from a healthcare like provider point of view, kind of like, all right, like I'm still processing this as a daughter, and still have to kind of explain it to my siblings, explain things to to his wife, and kind of just be that in between person. It was just, and I'm the oldest sibling, so I felt like I felt a lot of pressure from that too. So
yeah, for sure. It was tough, and just being her husband, it was just.
Can I drink water?
Do your thing, girl. Being her husband during that time, again, it was tough, because we have our family, our kids are trying to navigate how to be children to kind of support their mom, and I'm trying to navigate how to be a good supporting husband during this time. So it was just different.
Can I talk about our kids though? Yeah. Oh my gosh, my kids are. People say you have amazing kids because we're amazing parents. Thank you. Thank you. When people say that, I feel so blessed. But my kids, oh my gosh, my kids were so amazing during this whole time. Like my Layla, she's 9 and she has a phone now, and she's like tech savvy. She's always texting now.
Oh yeah.
And she would text me like on the bus, "Mom, I'm coming home to take care of you." Like they were just, oh my gosh, they just gave me so much love, so much support.
That's our 9-year-old.
Even like that's my 7-year-old too. It's like just so loving. Like, "Mom, I'm just so sorry that you're going through this. Like, your dad's gonna go to a better place," and just them praying over me, like. These are the definition of church kids.
These are church kids.
Oh my gosh. It's a definition of church kids, but if they stay this way, when they get to life and when they hit those bumpy road that life just throw your way, I feel like I'm praying that they can process through life well, because they know when things get hard, like they start calling on the name of Jesus. And I'm so proud of my babies. They will pray over me. Like they were reminding me to pray. I was like so emotional and just processing through everything, and they were like, "All right, Mom, come on, like we're gonna pray with you." And just, oh man, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Shout out to our babies.
To my
babies. Speaking of our babies.
Speaking of my babies, we don't have no babies no more.
Yeah, our daughter Sydney turned 8 years old on the 27th, and our son Jordan turned 13 today, which is a Monday. We recorded this on a Monday. On today, so we officially are having we're parents of a teenager right now.
Y'all.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. We're waiting to see how this all shapes out. You hear from other parents and they say, "Oh, wait till they get to teenage, they're gonna start acting like they don't even know you and all this other stuff."
I know how this gonna shape out. Beating if he start acting up.
That boy bigger than you. You ain't beating nobody.
My baby is bigger than me, taller than me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's a handsome kid. I know I'm biased, but he's a good boy though.
He's a good kid.
He's very humble. He takes like just he's so good to his sisters. Like he
Yeah.
takes pleasure in being a big brother. He's like I say he's a little replica of Aaron because he's like when the girls are not dressed right. I was telling my friends this story the other day. I'm like when the girls are not dressed right, he's like no mom, look what they have on. We're not leaving the house until they change their clothes. Like he is like a little replica of you. We go somewhere and he doesn't feel safe. He's like mom, like just be aware of your surroundings. That's what Aaron's always telling me because I'm like. I could just
She's
I could just be
head in
like,
the clouds all day. Yeah, you know what I mean?
everything is so pretty, it's so beautiful, the sun is shining, and everything could be like mass chaos around me, and I'd be so like focused in my own world. I went to the store the other day. This is so off the subject, but this lady was talking to me the whole time, and like I was just so focused on like being on my budget and like not going over. I'm like scanning my things, and I'm like adding in my head. And this whole time, this lady's having a whole conversation with me. Finally, she came up. She was like, "Ma'am," she's like, "Do you hear me?" She was talking about my sweatshirt. She was saying, like, I heard her in the back, but I thought she was like talking to somebody else this whole time. She's like, I look up, and she's like legit, like looking right at me, turned like whole body turned to me, telling me that she loved my shirt, and her kid plays for Stroudsburg too, like whole convo.
Man.
And I'm I'm like in my own world. Oh my god, it's crazy. But yes, we're parents to a teenager. It's gonna be quite a journey.
It's gonna be a journey, and if y'all got any advice for us, y'all give it to leave us in the comments. What advice do you have for us newly teenage parents?
Because you know I was a bad teenager.
Yeah, you bad, man. You bad.
So I met Aaron when I was 14.
Yeah.
And I miss this. I miss talking like this. This is so therapeutic for me.
You missed y'all.
But yes, we missed you guys. Thanks for checking in on us. But yeah, I not bad. Because I was talking to my friend the other day. Her stories of during her teenage years. I was like, "Ooh, girl, you made me look like a saint." But I definitely gave my parents some how you say that word? What's the best word for this? Just after I met Aaron, though. So I feel like it was you that had a bad influence on me. Because I met Aaron when I was 14. And I was pretty, like, to my books, to myself, not really causing any trouble.
She's leaving out all the stuff that she did before.
Him, and
she's
leaving out all the stuff she did. School.
No. She's leaving out all the stuff she did before she even met me. That I'm not even going to bring up. Because the stories that I remember, she probably don't remember she told me. So I'm leaving that stuff out. But
okay, first of all, my mama watched your show. So.
Anyway, exactly. So don't blame it on me. But teenagers, we were very, very. We were getting to know ourselves, but we were also, freshly, newly in love. Like you think about it, I met my wife when she was 14. My son's 13 now. So she was 14. I was 15. And if
my son have a relationship like we had when he was 14, I'm beating him. Straight up. Getting some beatings. We're not supposed to talk about that because you're not supposed to talk about.
Why would your son get a beating?
Because we was fresh.
No. She forced me to do stuff.
Yeah, okay. You're trying to explore all of my body. Okay. Sorry, Mama. We married now.
We married now.
You still trying to explore all my body?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about. But we definitely came a long way from those teenage years of the puppy love, and I stole my mother's car before because I promised my wife, my girlfriend at the time, I was gonna go take her to the movies. I just got my license.
I was a little thief too. I used to steal all the time from stores. I was bad. Oh my God,
bad kid. Horrible kid.
Oh, Jesus.
Horrible
grace.
adult.
God's grace just covered me during that time because I used to steal lip gloss. Like who needs all that lip gloss?
So who stole that? You stole that on your lips now?
No, I am redeemed. I'm redeemed, okay?
Anyway.
Now I work hard for my money. I don't have to steal anything. But before, when my parents couldn't buy it for me, take me to that store. I'll get it myself. You go buy groceries, and I'll be right over here. This is
why we are worried about our 13-year-old starting to grow up because we know all the ups and downs that we went through. We went through a lot of different things, especially being in the households that we were in. We were exposed to a lot of things that we didn't necessarily feel like we should have been exposed to, and hopefully these are some of the things that we've corrected with our children.
Yes,
You know what I mean? And
yes.
so I think we had an episode a couple episodes ago about breaking generational curses, and we're so thankful that we don't have to do some of the things our kids won't have to go through some of the things that we went through just by evolving and maturing and knowing some things. But our kids are growing up, and
I
we're
think, yeah.
starting to realize.
Yeah. I think just to start off, like, from the bat, like, the two-parent household, like, it was just, we have each other. Like, that's growing up, like, my mom was a single mom for a while. I know your mom was a single mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just the fact, I think just the fact that we have both of us to kind of go back and forth with each other. Because I can't imagine parenting without you.
Yeah, and vice versa.
You're such a great dad. Like, sometimes, like, things happen, it's just like, oh my God, like, I don't even know what to say. Or I do know what to say, and my mommy heart and my mommy mind wants to just be like, oh, but that's my baby. He didn't mean that. He didn't mean to say that. He didn't mean to do that. Like, let's talk to him and give him a second chance. And I'm like, no.
Nah. He knew what he doing. He know what he doing.
Like, he's a big boy now. He knows right from wrong.
It's okay for him to get in trouble.
That mama mo will be like, but that's my baby. Like, let me find out what that teacher doing to my baby. Make him do that.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. This is why. And let me tell you. Let me peep game though. This is what my son does. He got in trouble at school, and what he does is he writes a long text message. Right? Before he used to just text her.
Can we just say that he hates writing? Like, he hates writing.
Yeah.
We would, like, write a paragraph, and he legit will write, like, 2 sentences. Like, 2 sentences is not a paragraph.
But he literally can do the work, but he hates the writing.
So
he
smart,
hates writing. Yeah, he hates writing. But, so he wrote this long, eloquent text message. He usually writes it to his mom and says this stuff to his mom. But because he knew that I got the email from the teacher, he included both of us on his text message. And I'm picking this thing apart. Like, what did he say? He said something like...
starts off with mom and dad, like,
he tried to...
official. Like, he could have put a dear mom and dad in there in the text message.
He tried to
mom
finesse.
And dad,
oh, man.
I have not been feeling like myself lately. And that's all you guys say to your mama. I'm like... Wait, baby, let's talk about it.
Can I see if I can find this thing? Because it was a... See, and
Aaron over there, like, you see this? Like, you need to respond. You need to handle your kid. I'm like...
she's in mommy mode.
First of all...
No.
My baby is not feeling like himself lately. We need to find out why he's not feeling like himself.
Yo, he put the full court finesse on my wife.
He said, school is so hard. It's so hard to play football and sports, and I'm like, I told you that boy should not be playing.
Let me listen to this. This is what he wrote.
Don't read my baby's private
stuff.
This
listen.
is a private moment. One day he's gonna look back at this.
And I want y'all to see the finesse, because my wife is like almost like, oh my God, my baby, he wrote this long thing to us.
I'm gonna be down for my kid whenever, whatever.
Yo, this is what he says, right? Mom and Dad, I feel like I haven't been myself recently.
I can't believe you're reading this.
Ever since football started, I felt like I was it's been a huge target on my back. And I know that sometimes I get in trouble and it's mostly me. School and football is getting really tough and it's hard being good all the time.
Come on, you see this?
Don't think of this as an excuse for me being bad. I'm just saying that the things have been hard for me and it's hard being good all the time. From now on, I promise to be good in school. No more laughing. No more of being disrespectful to teachers. Right? He got in trouble because being disrespectful meaning he was just talking in class. That's being disrespectful, right?
I saw that and I'm like, ooh, boy, you out of you not in trouble. You all right? You good? Everything all right?
Nah, listen, but
is there anything we should talk about? How come you're not feeling like yourself?
Peep the finesse though. So I told him, like, he said, it was everybody. Everybody got in trouble. I told my teacher I was sorry, but the whole class got in trouble. Now, she's the one being so, oh, my baby this, my baby that. This is peep my reply, right?
Oh, my God.
Peep my reply. How many times, now, just to preface this, again, she's saying my baby, he wrote a whole paragraph. The boy's 12, he can write. But he's so sad he wrote a whole paragraph.
He didn't even have to write a whole paragraph. Just the fact that he wrote, I haven't been feeling like myself lately, I'm like... Come on, baby, come home. You're not, like, let's talk about it. Let's make sure you're all right. Let's make sure
Peep
everything is
my
good with you,
response.
because these days kids are trying to hurt themselves,
I get
take
that.
their life. Like
I get that.
It's
Wholeheartedly,
hard
I get
being
that.
in middle school these days. I mean, it was hard when we were growing up too, but now it's different. I feel like it's even harder.
Let
The
me.
kids
So
don't
can I
process.
please tell them
Go
what
ahead.
happened? Okay, this is my response, y'all. How many times are you going to be sorry? Because at this point, only in the second month of school, we've heard I'm sorry over a handful of times. At some point, when should we stop believing you? Boom! So I dropped the first one, right? Since at what time should we stop believing that you're sorry? That's daddy got play. We good cop bad cop right now because she's like, oh my baby this, my baby that. We good cop bad cop, right? And I said, so at some point, when should we stop believing you? That was a rhetorical question. That wasn't a rhetorical question. I want an answer. When should we stop believing that you're sorry? Are you really sorry, or is there more stuff that you say to cover up your behavior?
First of all, nobody knows what rhetorical means.
Boom!
That's just a hard word for that kid to even know.
No. You just said how smart he was. No, I'm pretty sure he probably Googled it. What does rhetorical mean? But I told him that's not a rhetorical question. I really want to know, when should we stop believing that you're sorry, right?
Let me close this window.
He goes, I'm really sorry this time. The whole class got lunch detentions. It wasn't just me. Again, she's feeling so sorry for him. I think she even texted me on the side something
I'm
like that.
down for my baby whenever. I told you.
My response is, now he just said the whole class got lunch detention. I said, you think I care about anyone else in that class? I'll answer you, I don't. I could care less about them. If you weren't involved, then the teacher wouldn't. Wait, I'm laughing. If you weren't involved, then the teacher would have excluded you. So get your crap together, because now you lost a lot. I said birthday privileges. Now you lost your birthday
Who
privileges.
takes away their kid's birthday present?
Just so you know, I'm not tolerating this behavior. I said another word, but it ain't a bad word, but I said another word. I'm not tolerating. Oh, I can see that. I'm
Can
not
you add
tolerating.
your email at the bottom so people
No,
can send you hate
I said
mail?
I'm not tolerating idiot behavior. Enough is enough. All caps, right? All caps. Very disappointed in your continued behavior. We'll talk when I get home.
This sounds like a
Boom!
Tyler Perry play.
Boom! That's what daddy do. Mommy's like, oh my baby. Oh
I'm
my
down
baby.
for my baby wherever and whenever.
Look, daddy don't play. Look, if you want to talk in class, you can talk in class, but just know if it get back to me, daddy gonna do what daddy do. He was finessing this one right here. The big finesse. I read through all that, because the funny part was I was reading that and I'm like, this ain't nothing but me. This ain't nothing
that's
but
what
me.
you was thinking.
Yeah, because he put the big finesse on mommy. Mommy like, oh, he not feeling like himself. I'm like, bull
Manipulator.
crap.
That's how you be manipulating me.
No.
Talking about you sick.
I am sick. I can't even breathe.
Time.
I can't breathe right now. I really am sick.
He's sick last night when it's time for family time, but he's sitting up here playing video games. I'm so sick to watch a movie. I got a man cold. Okay. How do we even get here?
Haters gonna hate.
Back
But what I'm saying is, yeah, so now my son is 13,
Yeah.
and he's already running his finesse game on mommy, and I think it's going to work. So that's why, like she said, we can't parent. It's hard to parent separately, so we try and parent together. She's
Yes.
good cop, I'm bad cop. Other times I'm good cop, she's bad cop. We just got to, stick together and have the same goal in mind for our kids. The one thing that kids need the most, I've noticed, even when I was younger, I've noticed is they need the household to be
consistent.
You took the word right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
They need the household to be consistent. And we're consistent on a lot of things. We're consistent on God being first. We're consistent on bringing home good grades. We're consistent on being respectful to each other, being respectful to us, and being respectful to outside people. Because we say all the time, when our kids leave the house, be a leader. That means no matter what happens, I don't care who's doing what, you're the one that sets the tone for you. Nobody else can make you talk. Only you can talk, right? So nobody else can get you in trouble, because you have to participate to get in trouble. Yeah. So,
And I think grace, parenting with grace too. I feel like God forgives us, and God has kept us through our teenage years for a lot of things. So something that you need to work on. Grace.
I'm working on
parenting.
I'm working on it, but I also just know.
Perfect. Like I know, I'm like, oh, come talk to me, baby. Tell me what's on your mind, kind of mama. because I didn't really have that with my parents. Like, it was no, like, you're not feeling like yourself, come talk to me. Let's talk about, what you're going through, what's going on. So I wanna have that open feel, like, come
Open
talk to
dialogue.
me, tell me what you're feeling. But at the same time, like, look, you can't be disrespectful to your teacher. You can't be talking with your friends while your teacher's talking.
Right.
Like, like, I give him that side too. Like, I'm not gonna scream it or do any, like, I'm not gonna, we're just gonna talk about it. Like, we're just gonna talk about it.
I get it. Which brings it to
But
another thing on parenting. So our kids are getting older, and the other day we were watching Blackish, right? And so,
oh my gosh, if
also,
you watch Blackish with your kids, sorry to
yeah,
cut you off.
yeah.
That show would start a lot of conversations.
Which is why we
starters.
love it too, because I mean, we talked about colorism and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
our kids are different shades of melanin, and we watching Blackish, and they talked about how the daughter was a little bit darker, and so our baby daughter is a little bit darker, so it actually got a conversation started about that. That's why we love Blackish. But the episode that we're talking about now, episode of Blackish is when Dre, the dad, Anthony Anderson, he went to go chaperone their middle school dance or something like that. So the whole episode, he telling his wife telling him, like, look, don't go dancing at the thing. You're gonna embarrass your kids if you start dancing and all this other stuff. So he like, all right, cool. Obviously, the spotlight came on him. He started dancing. He going
He
in.
was like, "What if the?" He asked her before too. He's like, "What if the spotlight come on and my song come
And
on?"
my
So
song
of
come
course
on,
the
yeah.
spotlight came on and his song came
Yeah.
on.
So he started going in, and so as he's finished dancing, everybody clapping and stuff. He turns around. He sees his daughter walking out the gym. So automatically he's like, "Dang, man! Like I really embarrassed her." He goes to run after her. When he gets in the hallway, she's making out with a boy, and he's just screaming, "No!" And I think the girl's 13 or something like that, right? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
she's in middle school. Too.
She's in middle school, but she wasn't leaving the gym because she was embarrassed. She was leaving because she was gonna go make out with a boy. And it was just the funniest episode, but it was also some real talk stuff because we were watching it and my daughters are in there, and I'm thinking to myself, to fast forward when they get home, he's taking the doors off the hinges. He's like, nah, you know,
Right, no more privacy.
no more privacy
It's a
for
wrap
you.
For you.
But the mom is like, oh my gosh, it was your first kiss. Tell me what happened. Blah, blah. And he like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you seriously entertaining this girl right now? I caught her kissing a boy, but the mom is like, if we shut down right now on this special moment, she'll never let us in again. And so just that how the mother and the father are playing off of each other, but also how are you parenting a kid during that situation. The more funny thing was the mother thought it was her first kiss and it wound up not being her first kiss.
I know.
Which made it even a funnier episode. So
Then
we
she
love
got
Blackish.
mad.
Though.
Yeah. So during that time, Sydney sees how the mom's responding and she turns around to me. She's like, "Oh, mom, is that how you're gonna respond to us when we have our first kiss?" And I'm like, "Oh no, no."
It was just
That's
such
TV, baby.
It was just such a funny.
Yeah.
It was a great episode, but again, that's why we love Blackish because it's a show for us. You know what I mean? And it really is something conversations that don't happen in black households. You know what I mean? And so. The opportunity for us to actually talk about stuff and actually get some advice about depending on how you respond to your kids, they may shut you out going forward, or they may invite you in depending on the circumstances. So that's actually it's something to think about. How would you guys handle stuff like that? You know what I mean? Like how would you handle having to
Your kid's first kiss?
your kids no your kids first kiss, but you're seeing your kids interact with the opposite sex. How do you react? How do you advise? How do you what's your no, I got the question. What's your first reaction to knowing that your 13 or 14-year-old is now kissing and possibly doing other things? What's your response? Your first response as a parent, and actually is your first response the correct response? I'm gonna do a short clip of that on social media this week so we can actually talk about that. That's actually a good dialogue start. And I'm gonna grab the clip too from Blackish.
From Blackish.
But so
Yeah, I know how you're gonna respond.
I might be in
about
a
that.
fetal position somewhere crying or something, and then plotting how I'm gonna
We
murder
know what
people.
you was doing when you were younger.
Yeah, I was doing it with you, so you do know. You're right, little freak. Why
you gotta always go? Why?
Anyway.
I'm the freak now. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Yeah, so
Yes.
it's been a lot happening
Yeah,
with us,
that's
man.
gonna be a
And
lot to take in to deal with.
yeah,
But I feel like at the end of the day, you just really had to talk to your kids because
yeah,
they're at school, they're going to these events, they're playing sports. Like they're not with you 24/7. And when they get to that age, you just have to trust that they make good decisions. And sometimes they're not gonna make good decisions. You
no,
see
they're
how
not.
many decisions we made, like
And like you said,
that
by the grace
wasn't,
of God,
and God
we are
kept us.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I really feel a coworker
facts.
recommended this book to us. I have to get it. It's called I don't have the exact name, but it just talks about like parenting with grace.
Mm.
So I think that's something that we need to read and we need to work on. So when we get the name of it, when we read through it and work through it, it's a workbook too. Then we'll recommend it.
Yeah, we'll gift it to somebody who's
Yes.
has teenagers or going to be having teenage kids soon.
I think just with kids in general. I don't
Yeah.
even think just teenagers. Like we need to parent with grace with all of our kids.
Yeah, agreed.
Because
Agreed.
yes.
All right, Joe. I mean,
Right,
there's a lot.
yes.
There's a lot going on,
We're
as you
doing
can see,
good.
and
Yes.
things are going good. We are recouping from the drama and the loss with Toya's dad, but we're also
Don't think there was
excited.
trauma.
No, I mean drama. I mean just the hurt, of that. But
Oh, no, mad science. Okay, awesome.
okay, see, she doing mommy stuff already.
Sorry, I'm getting
Um,
mommy emails. But
well-
yes, I want to take some time, honey, before we end this podcast
Yeah.
to thank you. I know I've thanked you so many times, but I really want to just, because you always pour your heart out. So I want to take this time to thank you. Thank you for being there by my side every second that I needed you. And it's so awesome, like the way you just support me every time I'm going through something. I know, and I've had the privilege of just having you by my side. So God, like, I don't know if you weren't here, like what I would do without you. Like ever since we were younger, like every time I needed you, you always will like show up. You were always there. And now that we're married, the same exact thing. You modeled the same thing for our kids. Like I didn't even have to ask our kids. Like our kids were like, "Don't worry about dinner. Don't worry about this. Like I got it. Like we're gonna take care of ourselves." And you just kind of like you just modeled this big support system for all of us. So thank you for being in my corner. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for spending hours with me at the hospital. Thank you for being like sound mind when I couldn't even think. I was just so emotional. Like I've never even been to like this experience this until recently. Like I get so emotional and so caught up in everything that I can't like make decisions. And I'm used to making, like, just as a healthcare provider, like there's so many things going on. People are bleeding. This is happening this time. Like I'm used to making decisions in the moment when things are happening so quickly and rapidly. But just, I don't know, it's just a different kind of emotional stress that I was going through. Like I couldn't focus. I couldn't be a wife. Like I wasn't really the effective mother. Like I was just like everything just shut down.
Yeah.
So I thank you for being there for me, for praying with me, just keeping me encouraged, reminding me of all the positive memories I shared with my dad. And just being a shoulder for other people during this time too with my family. Kind of, you stepped up during the funeral to help plan the whole thing. And I don't know, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You don't get lipstick on your face. So I am thankful.
See, I was being quiet the whole time because I was just,
He's eating it all up.
Yeah, that might be a clip.
Thankful, yes. Thank you. I mean, supporting your spouse during this time, like, and at some point you're going to be there and I'm going to have to reciprocate for you too. Hopefully no time soon. But, yes. But, just supporting your spouse during a tough time, man. It doesn't even have to be like losing a family member. It could be job loss. It could be anything that's, any loss of anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you for being in my corner. Thank you. Like, it was just like you were going through everything with me. Like, no time did I ever feel like I'm alone and, like I need help and I need support. Like, every step of the way. Like, you were there. You picked up with the house, with cooking, cooking sometimes. But with everything. Like,
Popeyes.
everything, yes. We ate a lot of meals.
Hey,
a lot of
did you go hungry is the question.
A lot of fast food. But yeah, it's just like when I just couldn't think, you were there for me. Like you were just my brain. You just handle the kids, the family, everything. Like, you left work to come, be by my side when I couldn't process through stuff, and be right there with my dad, even though, you had your differences with my dad. So even though you were just there.
Well, that's my job, right?
So that's your job. Yeah, you should have been there. What you want me to say? You should have been there. No, but thank you. Some people process differently. And
no, I get it. And
I'm
I
happy that you were with me, like, all the time. Like, there were ones that I had to be alone. Like, you were there. Even when I was boo-hoo crying, I was literally... Ugly crying. I was boo-hoo crying on you. So, yeah. Thank you for wiping all my snot and wiping my tears and being there for me. I'm going to try not to cry.
No, so. that's my promise for forever, right? Mm-hmm. Till death do us part, rich and poor, sickness and health. Yeah, all that stuff. That's the vow forever. You know what I mean? Yes. So that's my duty, and I take pride in being your husband. So being your husband is probably the most important thing. It is the most important thing in my life. So I appreciate you. Yeah, I think that's it, man. We just want to update you guys on what's going on in our world. And we do have some more stuff coming up for you guys. Yes. We're excited about the possibility of doing some more challenges with you guys. Maybe another prayer challenge. We have a marriage challenge as well that we're going to do. Yeah. But
I am excited about collaborating with other people.
Yes, we do have some joint podcasts set up. Yeah. So look forward to those things. But yeah, we're excited. So yes. We're back. We're renewed, refreshed. We're pushing forward, and whatever God has for this podcast and for our pages and stuff like that, we pray that you guys receive it. And we pray that we can be just vessels to be able to relay God's goodness and God's love, and give some marriage advice, some parents advice, and some just some God advice. While we're figuring it out ourselves. That's right. Yeah. We say all the time, we never claim to be perfect people. We don't claim to have a perfect marriage, but we know that in our imperfection, God, there could still be greatness where God keeps us, right? All right, y'all, we're done. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for taking a listen or watch to this. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube. I got to get back on our YouTube grind, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
subscribe to our...
everything.
Yes. Find us on Apple Podcasts. Find us on Spotify, on SoundCloud. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Instagram. You'll probably see all that stuff after this video. But, yeah, check us out, all right? If we're on Instagram, if you're hearing this, Instagram is at AP Toya Podcast on Instagram. Same thing on Facebook. And again, you can find the podcast, AP and Toya Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, and what's the other one? Apple Podcasts. Yes. All right, y'all. We love y'all. Hope you guys have a great Thursday. And we will be back again next Thursday with a new podcast. And, yeah, we love y'all.
If you have any topic suggestions, too. Yeah, anything you want us to talk about. We've been getting all kinds of... DMs and interesting topics. So.
Yeah, so we got some, but if you guys want us to talk about anything, let us know. Like I said, again, we're going through this stuff right now. We've been together for a long time, and pretty much anything you've been through, we've definitely been through it. And so we're here for you guys, and we thank you guys for being there for us. Yeah. So I'm AP. This is my wife, Latoya. And we will be back with you next week. All right, y'all? Yes. Peace.
Take care.
I remember so clearly, it seems like just the other day.